I don't care who you are, how much money you make, what you have going on, what is your routine? When you have a well lifestyle, the motivation that God has already given you starts to like just thrive. What's the strategy? Compound efforts, work ethic, belief, consistency. So people think network marketing is like, oh my gosh, whoever's the most popular, just like TikTok Shop. Whoever works the hardest wins on TikTok Shop. And that is the real game that we got to teach entrepreneurs to stay in the game. You might not make your first 6 figures your first year, but if you stay consistent, you're going to make it. That's when I realized faith and fear can't operate in the same space. Either I have faith or I have fear. You can have organized chaos and still win. But if you have systems and strategy, you will have success. Building a brand professionally is making sure you have your...
Welcome to another episode of Access Granted, where I give you exclusive access to entrepreneurs that are killing it in their industry. Today, I have a special guest, Miss Natalie. I absolutely love her, y'all. So I'm just super excited to share her with the platform. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to serve and support your movement. I definitely believe in you. And I've been watching you, and I said, if I could support her in any way, why not?
Wow, that means so much to me. I met you in person a couple of months ago, and I feel like we just connected, and you were like, I just love what you're doing.
Yes.
And sometimes as an entrepreneur, you just need somebody to be like, I got you. Like,
Yes.
You're good. So I just thank you for doing that and just shining light on, because sometimes we just need that push
Yes.
and that confirmation. So thank you for that.
Anytime.
So I know Natalie, but to the audience, can you tell them who you are and what you do?
Yes. Well, first of all, hey, y'all. I am a businesswoman. I am someone that literally has been in business for over 15 years. After graduating from Howard University in the major of public relations and business, I literally dove into business, not because I essentially wanted to, but I had about $150,000 of student loans, and I didn't know what was going to pay me enough to be able to feel good and be able to really walk in my fullness that God had for me and be able to give me some money,
Yeah.
So I come from very humble beginnings. I come from a Trinidadian American household. They got divorced when I was 11. And I wouldn't want to call it just essentially struggle, because it was probably a suburban struggle, but a struggle where I didn't have my own bed since I was 8 years old, lived in my grandmother's, house. I come from very humbling, faith-based beginnings. So the woman you see that I am today, it took a lot of fight. It took a lot of surrender. It took a lot of obedience. It took a lot of lickings, And here I am just really operating several businesses, leading women all across the world, and allowing God to use me.
That's amazing. What are some things that you think from your humble beginnings molded you into this amazing businesswoman that you are?
That's a great question. I think when I saw my mother, how hard she worked, as a first generation citizen, an American from Trinidad, and seeing how hard she worked. Like, she worked so hard, getting to the top of the banking industry, but you can't go any further because you don't have a college degree. They literally wanted to get her out so they can pay somebody less, right? So seeing how hard she worked was like, okay, I want to help my mom one day. My grandmother sacrificed for me a lot, just helping me out, allowing me to feel like I was not lacking anything, And then my dad did the best that he can. He, as a man, he was doing the best he can. He moved from Maryland to LA, and at that very moment, I said, you know what? When I decide to be a mom and a wife and a mom, and I want to make sure I can provide for my family, my children at that. And not just provide financially, provide emotionally, provide spiritually. So at a very tender age, I just wanted freedom. It was not $1 million. It was just whatever feels good, whatever allows me to walk in my fullness, and whatever that looks like that God has for me. I don't know what it is, but whatever you have for me, God, that's what I want. So that's really what skyrocketed just Natalie's birth of just being an entrepreneur. I was willing to try anything legal, to be able to be successful. So my first business was in the beauty industry. I sold a lot of hair, a lot of Indian hair. Your hair look good now. I sold a lot of hair, when units and bundles was a thing, right? When it first started to become a thing, I opened up my salon. After my salon, I had and I still have my nonprofit, but I was servicing the Department of Youth Services and going into the prisons and the juvenile justice system and teaching about rites of passage, entrepreneurship. I had facilitators going all throughout the government educational system, public schools, private schools, and just teaching how to become an entrepreneur, right?
Wow.
And that part changed my life again. So seeing a young boy that might have murdered somebody for some shoes to sell to give the money to his mom for rent, that was life changing for me. So I said, you know what, God, whatever you can allow me to do to impact lives, that's what I'm going to do. So that's how I got to when I first started, just becoming a businesswoman, making very integral decisions in business, and now, owning a fractional CMO agency that focuses on digital marketing, and then we have our wellness side, to our businesses.
That's amazing. I
Yes.
didn't know that part of your story. See, this is why I love this podcast, because I get to share you with my audience, but I get to learn more about you as well. And I didn't even know you had this amazing nonprofit. And I know we talked about grants and getting you some grant funding, but that opens up a whole nother lane and whole nother avenue.
Yes.
So when it comes to grants, is it okay if I just share a little gem real quick?
I actually need you to share it, Jen, because
Okay.
I hope that's cool with y'all, because I feel like on the internet and then outside the internet, you have this corporate world, you have like the Chamber of Commerce, you have the women business enterprises and the different things, and there's a field day of income out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I would like to do in this season of my life is to even support people like you to share what resources there are, because I think as an entrepreneur, sometimes we struggle for no reason when we can just get our paperwork together and do the right thing so we can be able to be a part of that field that you're in.
I love it. So you touched on one key thing and you said paperwork. And I think that's one of the main reasons why entrepreneurs don't get access to grant funding is because they don't have their paperwork and their documents together. We had a meeting with the mayor's office in Tennessee a couple months ago. And there was funding that was supposed to go to minority entrepreneurs, and a very small percentage went to minority entrepreneurs.
Wow.
When we asked why, it was because they said that people who qualified, they didn't have their LLCs in order, they didn't have their documents in order, they didn't have their paperwork in order. So we're trying to figure out what we can do to bridge that gap and open up the door for
Right.
entrepreneurs to understand what's required.
Yeah.
So I love that you touched on that. I think the paperwork piece is actually key to getting access to grant funding. But when it comes to you and your mission and what you're doing, you have most people, one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to grants is that you have to be a nonprofit to qualify for funding. And although your nonprofit opens up the door for a flood of funding opportunities, you have this amazing for-profit company as well. So for me, when I first started, how I was able to maximize on grants is my for-profit company and my nonprofit company. We collaborate together to fulfill a mission, and we go after funding together, whether it be for the nonprofit or the for-profit, to get access to more capital and more funding. So we lead with our nonprofit that's fulfilling a mission, making an impact, changing lives. But then we also talk about how we have this for-profit company that's kind of doing the same thing, but providing an additional benefit or additional leg to our for-profit, to our nonprofit. So for what you're doing, it's so much money out there available for you. If I was sourcing grants from where you sit, I probably would start with foundation grants.
Yeah.
Because it's really an overlooked area when it comes to funding.
What is foundation?
Foundation grants. So with foundation grants, there are a lot of very wealthy people in the world. And what they typically do is they put money into foundations to avoid paying taxes.
Right.
It's a tax write-off for them. Well, the money that goes into the foundations, it can't sit there. They have to do something with it.
Yes.
So they usually pour into nonprofits or for-profit companies like you and me.
Yes.
And you get money and funding to go out and do whatever it is you need to do to make your organizations grow and go to the next level.
That's a big deal, because I feel as though, so being in Texas, I have a new location called Greenhouse, and we're a wellness workspace.
Right.
So after going through just trauma from being robbed at gunpoint in 2020, like literally imagine making $100,000 a week, but you're depressed. Like how, the average person, how are you depressed at $100,000 a week? Well, I was, and I was willing to lose it all to get my mind back. So my workspace is a wellness space that really focuses on mental wellness and balance. And that word balance is something that people on the internet say there is no balance. You can't live in balance. Well, there's harmony. And within balance, you have to find harmony in the things that you do so you can be able to create that balance in your blood and balance in your mind. Like your blood doesn't lie. So if your blood knows what balance is, you can't tell the doctor there is no balance and your cortisol levels are high as a roof. So you got to get your blood balanced. You got to get your mind balanced. You got to get your spirit balanced. You got to get your finances balanced, right? So that's really what our mission is. So we just partnered up with Uber Eats and ClassPass, and we have a bunch of events, a bunch of workshops, and that's where anytime you want to come to Houston, then we can take it on the road where we can educate professionals and people that have the desire to be an entrepreneur and entrepreneurs the basics of entrepreneurship. 'Cause I think they see the hustle culture and they feel as though if I don't live the hustle culture, I can't have a job and still go after my dreams. That's not how it works. So that's something that I'm dedicating my life to. Is just really teaching the true foundations of entrepreneurship.
That's amazing. And I think we need more people to incorporate that. I think a lot of times we just show the glitz and the glam. We show, the success. And in my community, I definitely try to be very transparent, right? Every day isn't perfect. Every week isn't $100,000 week. And there's some struggles that happen on this journey. So I try to share those so that people know that this isn't just, wake up and be great. There's some struggles that come with this journey as well. How important is it to have that wellness balance with entrepreneurship as well?
So it's everything. Like being well is how you generate wealth, right?
Yeah.
So like there's a reason why you see the owner of Venmo that sold his company. If you listen to some of his podcasts, he speaks about wellness. He speaks about, I just, eat, take extra virgin olive oil. There's people like the most famous people and the most influential, impactful people. I'm not talking about Instagram famous that have literally told you how they start their morning. So wellness really stems from routine as well. And being able to have a well routine is how you implement a well journey. So I always tell my clients, I don't care who you are, how much money you make, what you have going on, what is your routine? Why do you want to talk to me every day? Do you need to talk to me? Is that a part of your well-being? So I show people how to create well living through routine, and I show them how to look at their schedule and how do we implement a well schedule for you. So wellness is everything for me. Some people might think that I went off the hammer from it, but I just know what it felt like not to be well. I know what it felt like to be functionally depressed and not feel good about life and not feel motivated. So when you have a well lifestyle, the motivation that God has already given you starts to just thrive in your bones. You can't help but to be happy. You can't help but to have joy. Galatians 5:22 is my favorite scripture, the fruits of the spirit. And that's how I live my life. Those are my core values. And again, every day is not going to be like, oh my God, it's just a bright day, but every day you got to choose to have a great day. And regardless of whatever happens in your day, you can say, you know what, God, this didn't make me feel good today, but I need you to fix it. And I'm giving it to you. And that's literally how I live my life. And there are days I'm like, yo, this is hard today. Why did this happen? Okay, God, I'm going to go to sleep tonight and I'm going to give this to you. And I'm expecting you to do a new thing tomorrow. And that has been the formula of my life.
That's good. Oh, this is good. So there's somebody watching this right now and they're not well, right? So they might feel depressed. They might feel like giving up. They might feel like that, the journey they're on is just not aligning with their mission and what they want to be doing. What are some steps or some encouragement you could give them to being well?
That's such a great question, Coach K. Number one, you have to do a wellness check with yourself every day. You have to ask yourself, after you pray, after you have your morning routine, how do I feel today? I think sometimes we wait for somebody to ask us, how do we feel? And you guys ask yourself, how do I feel today? And from a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel? My dad used to always text me that. From a scale of 1 to 10, how was your day today? And I'm like, it was a 7, And he's like, why was it a 7? So you got to ask yourself, why is it a 6 today? Why do I feel like this today? Am I heartbroken? Do I feel not good about my body? Do I have some body positivity things going on? Maybe I ate a hamburger. I don't eat hamburgers, but what if you did? Because sometimes I will eat something, I'm like, why did I do that to myself? 6, 5, automatically, right? So checking in with yourself is number one. Next, seeking help. I'm doing a workshop called, how can I help you? And I'm excited about the workshop because if you just literally ask for help, there are people that want to help you. There are people that literally will be like, oh, here you go. There might be a cost attached to certain things, but at least you ask for help. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes we go to bed and we have this stress going on inside of our system, but did you ask for help? Hey, I want to start a podcast. How do I do it? Let's ask for help. Let's ask ChatGPT. How do you start a podcast? Ask somebody that has a podcast in my DMs. Don't ask, can I pick your brain? Hey, I have a podcast that I want to start. Can you give me 2 tips? You get what I'm saying? The next thing I will say is definitely get a therapist. You can go to, there's so many different websites out there. One of my clients, they're called Elevate Healthcare and Telehealth Solutions. I'm really excited about their product and their telehealth online virtual services. And there's BetterHelp. There's so many other places. You go find somebody. But I love that they're gonna have on-call professionals.
Wow.
Because when you are in crisis,
you need somebody then.
When you're in crisis and you are not well, you need help. So that's one thing. The next thing is, please, please, please move your body. When you move that body, your body starts to talk to you. Certain parts of your body starts to hurt a little bit. Certain parts of your body starts to say, hey, check on this. So I do a lot of activity in my body. I do IVs. I do a lot of biohacking. I figure out what's going on. Okay, vitamin D low, magnesium low. Bet, let's fix it. And that's how I live a well lifestyle. And whoever's listening, taking a moment, calling your insurance company and saying, I want to get my labs done. Just get your labs checked. Go in there, get a wellness exam. I think you get like 2 or 3 a year. Just get your labs done because you can prevent a lot of things that could happen in your life with your health if you just get checked on.
That's amazing. I thank you for sharing that because I know there's so many people who just need that information, especially, not just minority women, but I think a lot of times we overlook our health. We put everybody before us, everyone and everything before us, and we forget to make sure we're good. So I just appreciate you for sharing that because it's just so many gems and nuggets and we miss out because we just don't put ourselves as a priority.
Chasing money or chasing what you see on the internet. And I tell a lot of my girls, especially in our space, like, what do you do for wellness? Like, I don't really want to meet you for coffee or like dinner. Let's just do something.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing a little 1-2 food. I love food, but that can't be my life. So I was like, okay, what do you like to do? Oh, me and my homegirl, I think Turk is coming in here a little bit. And I was like, we do mental health walks, mental wellness walks. Hey, let's link. Let's just talk, And we're about to do some more things together because I want to show people, like, it doesn't cost a lot of money to check in with your homegirls and to be well.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what I do. And I love that you're advocating for this on your show because people look at you like she has it all figured out. Some people maybe. And they think you have it all figured out. But you have created a lifestyle for yourself to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you're sharing information that I need to incorporate in my day.
Yeah, girl, I'm a call away.
Listen, that's why I'm like, okay, all right. I'm taking notes too.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sharing you with the audience, but selfishly, I'm like, okay, this is what I need to do.
Listen, I can run it for you. Like, even at your conference, when you were taking the products, I love that you were taking those products. That 5-HTP in the side of NRG the NRG has something called 5-HTP in there and magnesium. You needed that in the morning. It's brain food.
Yeah.
So it's giving your brain the go to say, hey, we can function at a high level today.
Let's talk about that because it literally, so talk about the products. Tell them what the product is and what you do with the product.
Man, listen, Coach K, that company changed my life.
Okay.
Network marketing is a huge part of my life, but I do it on the wellness side, right? So the company has amazing products. We just came out with a GLP-1, which is crazy because the actual semaglutide and the Mounjaro, not making the medical claims, that's giving a sensitized GLP in your body. We have a natural prebiotic that we're giving your body now that's going to help your body slim down and say, hey, let's get your liver together. Hey, let's get your bodily functioning together, right? So that's one of our flagship products right now. We have a vitamin called NutriBurst, which everybody and their mother should take that in the morning time. It has like phytonutrients, all types of vitamins in there, so you can be able to function and feel well. And then we have our NRG, which is brain food, literally brain food. Magnesium, vitamin D is in there, right? And it has 5-HTP in there. And then we have our cleanse, which, right? I usually literally always have it. I might give you a little gift. So, yep, I have it right here. This is not shameless plug, but it is. But this product, I don't need you to sell this for me. I just need you to be well. That's all that matters to me. So when my boyfriend, he's a high-functioning entrepreneur, man, I love how hard he goes. He inspires me so much. I love that he takes care of his health. That's more sexy to me than anything.
Yeah.
It's like you taking care of your health, you know? So he takes the tea every single night. So this product, I'll give you a whole month supply, but you got to prioritize your health.
Yeah.
So with TLC, they just give you the ability to prioritize your health. And then by default, yeah, they pay you 50%, but the money comes later. Taking these products every single day has changed my life. And I've been taking it for 10 years.
And you sent me some. You sent me some right before the conference, I believe. And when I say my energy shifted, like I just seen a whole shift in me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I see it online. I just, you know how you see something online and you're not really sure. You're like, And I'm like, my goodness, what have I been missing out on?
Well, I think the reason why most people that see it online don't dive in is because it was more positioned as network marketing. You got to sell it, you know?
Yeah.
So we were creating a whole new movement, entire movement is just about retail and helping people live a higher quality of life. That's it. So after 10 years of finally, I earned over $7.8 million in this company.
Wow.
From this in 4 years. Yep.
Wow.
In the past 4.5 years, I've earned about $7.8 million.
That's amazing.
Net, you know? So now I'm like, okay, that's cute, and I thank you for that. But the amount of people's lives that I've helped change.
That's it. That's what we do.
Listen.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like, I don't have to make another dollar. That's not what I want. But I love that the products actually work. And even if you don't have a TLC or whatever you use, you guys get on a program. Like, find something that works for your body. You know, a lot of kids, they're diagnosing them with like ADHD and autism, all these different things. They're lacking nutrients. I'm not a doctor, but I know common sense. Mm-hmm. Get your child on some vitamins. Mm-hmm. They're on that iPad. They're not drinking no milk. Look, now we can't even drink milk anymore, right? I know I don't like milk.
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, I have other things I take for vitamin D. But think about as a young child, our grandparents drank milk.
Mm-hmm. And made us drink it. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You're like, I don't want this. But what do they start doing? Chocolate milk.
Uh-huh.
Strawberry milk.
Drink it and your bones won't be strong. That's what my grandma used to tell me.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. So there's somebody watching this that might be interested in network marketing. Do you bring people on? And some people think, you know, network marketing really isn't a thing, or, you know, maybe it's kind of drifted off. And I know people who, I mean, again, 7.8 million in 4 years is phenomenal.
Yeah.
What is network marketing, and how do I get involved in it?
Yeah, so network marketing, everyone and their father should be in network marketing. Like, the same way how we shop at Amazon, we're not making any money back from that. So imagine having your own Amazon of health products, right? So network marketing specifically overall is like social selling. So you literally grow a networking business, a network, and you get paid from referrals.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? So let's say that you said, Natalie, this is the best spring water. Go to the link. I love this spring water. It tastes so good. Oh my gosh. The person goes to the link. You networked with me. You marketed that product. I go to the link. I buy it. But based upon the network marketing company that you choose, that's the biggest part. If you don't choose a network marketing company that has great products, a great compensation plan, and a great corporate structure, not a field structure, not because Natalie's winning, how does corporate, how do they run their business? What are their external SOPs? Let's see what they have going on. What is their, how are they running their business? Are they a integral business? Like, what's the data behind it? So TLC's been around for 22 years. We were once a $250 million company, like in the pandemic, right? So right now they are building momentum again. And the goal for me right now, to answer your question, I'm in the top 1% of my company still to this day.
Wow.
But I found a new way to sell. I only sell social selling. I only sell through conversations. So let's say I say, hey, Coach K, let's do an event for women. Then you say, well, Natalie, I'm going to talk about branding and business. I'm like, okay, Coach K, can I have a mocktail table in the back? Can I do like a tasting in the back? You say yes. I create a QR code. The QR code will give you like some money. If you say, Natalie, I want a percentage, I'll create your code. It'll go to you, but then I make residuals. Mm-hmm. So the more people I help, where my money comes from is if I help 100 people make $1,000 a month, I'm making anywhere from 25% to 50% a month.
Wow.
From each person.
Wow.
It's always crazy.
I didn't know that's how it worked. Girl, look, you're teaching me something.
Well, it's similar to like grants, kind of like, it's like a market where people don't know about until you educate them, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm in a space now where like, okay, like one of my students, she's out here, she came with me today, she's amazing. She used to spray perfume in Macy's, right here in Atlanta, right? She earned over $2.4 million as someone that did not have followers on Instagram.
Wow.
What's the strategy? Compound efforts.
Okay.
Work ethic. Belief, consistency. So people think network marketing is like, oh my gosh, whoever's the most popular, just like TikTok Shop. Whoever works the hardest wins on TikTok Shop. Mm-hmm. That's it. So I'm just excited to be back outside. As you see, I light up with that, with that conversation.
Yes, I do.
Because it's like, okay, now I think digital marketing is cool. I think what I do at Greenhouse is amazing. It's a great legacy business, but everything is intertwined in here. Even at your facility for your podcast, I'm looking upstairs like, oh, we got to put some NutriBurst over there. Like, that's how my brain works. Because you go to a hotel and you're using their soap, you go screenshot, I like this soap. You go on Amazon, I'm going to buy this soap. You don't make any money from that.
Yeah.
So that's what network marketing specifically is. But I'm part of Total Life Changes. So proud of the company. So proud of just their sustainability. They started in the basement, and now they have a huge facility in Ira Township, Michigan. And I'm going there next week. And I just love that everyday people can have a stream of income. Mm-hmm. You don't have to have all this brilliance, and you can have an actual job and still make an extra $1,000 a month that will change your life.
Wow. You literally light up like when you talk about
I
TLC.
love it.
Yeah, I see.
Girl, I was struggling. I had my salon and I was struggling. Like I literally was struggling. TLC changed my life, I needed to figure out what to do, Okay, some girls marry rich. Okay, that's great if you want to marry rich. Shout out to you, right? But for me, I didn't have that type of option. Yeah. I had to figure out how am I going to have sustainability in my life as a young woman that loves Jesus? What am I going to do? So I said, I need to find something. And I put inside my salon. My first year, I made $100,000 part-time.
Wow.
That's the part that I like to focus on. The millions of dollars did not happen just from like luck. It was compound efforts and consistency. And that is the real game that we got to teach entrepreneurs to stay in the game. You might not make your first 6 figures your first year, but if you stay consistent, you're going to make it.
That's good. That's real good. I want to touch on real quick, just building a brand in digital marketing, because I think that's a big part of your story as well.
Yes.
What are some tips that you can give the entrepreneurs that are watching this too, building a brand that, and having a blueprint as big as TLC or, as big as, the other companies that are out there?
From any person that has a job, that has a career, because job and career are two different things. A job might just be like, hey, I'm going to just get this job just to be able to pay my bills. Mm-hmm. A career is like, I found my passion.
Yeah.
I love my passion. Then you're an entrepreneur where you start a business. Then you're a businesswoman where you are literally doing it, right? Or a businessman. Each one of those phases, you should have a personal brand. If you are at the workplace, you should have your own identity. What do you bring to the table to the corporate goals and the vision of the company. That's why LinkedIn is so important. I love LinkedIn for my clients. I'm still building mine out now. I had so much success not using LinkedIn. But when I went to this event last week, they're like, what's your LinkedIn? I'm like, oh, yeah, bet. Let me get it.
Yeah.
You know? So I didn't know how many messages and people reach out to me to be their CMO like every week, right? So building a brand professionally is making sure you have your brand identity, you're clear on what you want. Hey, what next level do I want in that company? So now, you know, as a brand, these are things I need to do for sustainability to stay here. The next phase in building your brand is making sure your digital footprint is very clear and precise. I think that people have a misconception about social media, right? They have this taste in their mouth like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough likes and I don't have enough this. Just show up and be your authentic self and believe in whatever you're speaking about and be consistent. Those are my ABCs of building a brand. Being able to be authentic and stay authentic, no matter what the world is doing. ChatGPT does not make you authentic because that's ChatGPT. But if you know how to speak to ChatGPT, ChatGPT can support
I love that.
you being authentic.
Yeah.
And then you have to believe in what you're doing. And if you don't believe in it, pivot. Pivot. It doesn't mean you're making a bunch of money, but if you don't believe in it, pivot. Right?
Yeah.
And then consistency does matter. Being consistent, being able to show up. Even if you don't have it all figured out, just taking that moment to say, you know what am I going to be consistent in? Right? So building a brand as a CEO, you say to yourself, what platforms do I want to play on? Every platform is not for everybody. Some people think they have to dominate on Instagram. They got to dominate on TikTok. They got to dominate on YouTube. We do have proven strategies, but if you're dominating in those spaces, where are you falling back to? So that's where building a very credible website funnel matters. So I believe that we're one of very few companies that build website funnels. We don't just build a funnel that's selling. We capture data and we retarget the audience.
That's good.
So that's what we do. After somebody buys from you, what's next? If you already helped them get $1 million in grant funding or $100,000, how do you keep them a part of Coach K's community? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People buy into you, then they buy into whatever else you're selling. So the reason why anybody and their father or mother can sell this product is because if you already know who you are and whose you are, whatever you add to the plate is just an added bonus.
That's amazing.
I literally can go on Instagram and say, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to post it later. Just for you. I'm going to go like this. Hey, you guys. I'm here with Coach K. Listen, you guys know I bootstrapped my business for 15 years. For the first time ever, I believe in the next 6 to 12 months, I'm going to receive my first grant. And this is the woman that I'm believing in that's going to help me make it happen. You don't have to do this thing alone. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. I don't know everything about grants, but I do know that there's a woman in front of me that's helped so many people become successful. And I'm going to show you the game as I go through the process. So
I love it.
That's it. 35 seconds. I'll post it. And I didn't lie.
Right.
I was very honest. I told them that I'm just learning. I'm just figuring it out. You already have credibility, but I added brand credibility because I have a brand that people believe in. And I'm going to show you the stats. I'm going to put a poll and say, if you want to come to a private event with me and Coach K, press yes. Do you want it to be virtual or in person? And from that data, now I know what to sell. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do for my clients. We do a lot of strategy and finding out, okay, where's your pain points? Okay, you have a community of 500, you want to get to 5,000. How do we do that? How do we reverse engineer to this machine?
I love that. And you're actually getting real data. And I think that's what people are missing. They're just going out there and they're just putting up a funnel because somebody told them to do a funnel. Or they're just creating an ebook just because somebody said,
who's going to read it?
Yeah, go get an ebook. But you're collecting the data to see what the people need and then giving them what they're basically asking for.
That's how you stay sustainable. You look at people like, I love Oprah so much. And, even when she started her own network, she literally pivoted so many times. She found her space. And now she's like Oprah, right? Look at Tyler Perry. Look at so many phenomenal people in the world that found their rhythm. Look at Rihanna, right? You collect the data and then you go after it. And then when you know, literally, I think it really honestly, Coach K, is confidence. I think a lot of people lack confidence. And if they don't understand that, God literally wants you to be confident. He has given you the ability to be confident. But you got to believe that you're going to be confident. You got to show up as her, show up as him. No one can tell you how life is going to go because they're not God.
Yeah.
And that's where confidence comes from. So when I decided that, God, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm going to stay in the game. And I'm confident that you're not going to leave me or forsake me. That's when I realized faith and fear can't operate in the same space. Either I have faith or I have fear. Pick one.
Oh, that's amazing. This is so good. I'm so excited we finally connected because this has been amazing. What are 3 pieces of advice that you can give to the entrepreneur that's watching this and they are starting their journey and they just need that push to keep going?
Oh, God, I'll talk to y'all now. So for the entrepreneur that is either looking to build or scale, the number one thing I need you to know is to keep God first. I know it might sound cliche, but God is not cliche. God is not a trend. When I decided to allow Jesus to really take control over my life and just surrender, he fixed all the broken pieces. And baby, they was broken. And he literally started piecing it together and allowing me to flow a little bit better and allowing me to hear from him. So that was number 1. Number 2 is you have to have systems. You have to have systems. You can have organized chaos and still win. But if you have systems and strategy, you will have success. Winning a good win and being successful are 2 different things. You can have a win because there's a game you won. But being a winner and having success strategies that work are 2 different conversations. So that's number 2 is don't be afraid to implement systems and don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to scratch the entire plan and do it again and do it with order, right? And then last but not least, and again, this will sound cliche, but don't quit. Literally, I was going through hell and I never want to go through that again on earth. And that was because I just wasn't obeying what I knew. And when I started implementing God, strategy, systems, I never stopped. So my following on social media went from maybe 100,000 followers to over 500,000 in a year and a half. My YouTube, got my watch hours like this. As soon as I dropped my podcast, it went crazy, right? But I can't do that podcast unless God is in it or I had systems and strategy. So I will drop anything and go back to systems and strategy and do it again. And that's how I live every part of my life right now.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
This has been so good. This is probably one of my favorite episodes because it touched me in so many ways and just made me realize there's so many things that I need to include into my journey and my wellness and my well-being. So,
but you're doing. But I want to say this though, in front of the listeners and everyone. I think sometimes we're really hard on ourselves, which is a good thing. You being intentional with yourself and accountable is a very good thing. But I would say this: you're doing amazing. But now having purpose partners that come in like myself. We'll build. Now we're locked in now.
Right.
I came on your podcast. Now we locked in. But now it's there's certain parts of your journey I can probably support you in. There's certain part of my journey that you can support me in. And building organic, authentic relationships build to real sisterhood. I think a lot of times people miss that part. I don't need you to do any grants for me. Right. I don't. Why? I've already been building and I've been already doing bootstrapping. But me learning, growing, supporting you, and then now I need it. I desire it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times people on the internet just slide in DMs for their own win. But I love the fact that you didn't do that to me. Literally, Raina hit me up. Oh, yeah, I'll do Coach K stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you for just standing strong.
Thank you.
It takes a very intentional strong. I think the software era has been so overplayed because God wants you strong. You know, there's certain areas of your life that you'll be feminine like you are, but that's what attracted me to you. You're a feminine, strong, purposeful, intentional woman. And I feel like that's going to drive your audience on a whole nother level.
Wow. Listen, I told you the first time we met, you poured into me, and now you just did it on a whole nother level. I appreciate you so much because, again, some days we just need that.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate you.
Anytime, girl.
Thank you. Thank you. So tell the audience how they can connect with you and what's next for Natalie.
Yes. Okay, so you guys, I'm excited. I have literally been building everybody else's brands, but mine own, just like intentionally. So I literally just launched 2 things, a wellness club, and I'm excited about it. Like my favorite thing ever is self-care, wellness, and just really, when I go to different cities, finding the best wellness activity. And then inviting my homegirls and people I know. So I believe in adult friendships. So I'm relaunching for every woman. And it's a wellness club. And we can do some business there because people do business on the golf, when they're playing golf, right? On the golf course. But it's a safe place for women to connect through wellness.
Love it.
I'm so excited about that. And then I have Greenhouse, my business mentorship. So we have our wellness workspace where I'm actually now going to teach the game behind digital marketing and business. So we have our mentorship, monthly calls now. I've never done this before.
Wow.
Never, girl. Sometimes I used to feel like doing it, and I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. So because of systems and strategy, we now have a community. So Greenhouse is launching, in the next 30 days. So excited about being a partner of Woman Evolve. This year, we have our Greenhouse Wellness Lounge. So things are we'll talk more about that too. Things are just coming together, and I'm just so excited about just being back outside, being outside in a purposeful way, in an impactful way, allowing God to use me.
That's
and you can find me at Nathalie Nicole, H, my mom is so unique, H behind the T, NATHALIE, Nicole, and just slide in my DM. Let's chat.
I love it. I love it. You guys, this has been another amazing episode of Access Granted. I know you guys found value, so I want to make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this with 3 other entrepreneurs that you know can find value from this information. I'll see you next time.